So can anyone see my screen?
Yes, please.
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So okay, so once again, welcome to the monthly webinar session of Active Data and Emotion, and we'll walk you through on the step-by-step basics of Power BI and how you can use Power BI to perform basic analysis, right, from a beginner level to an advanced level, at least the basics of what Power BI is all about, how to source or import data that is in an Excel format, right? Perform basic data cleaning, which will be removing some duplicates found in the data. We'll visualize the data, and then we'll calculate the basic metrics using the Power Quick measures, and finally we'll introduce you to the concept of data analysis expression. So first and foremost, what is Power BI, right? So Power BI, right, popularly known as Microsoft Power Business Intelligence, is a business intelligence tool. The tool is in quotes, that allows us to connect data from different data sources, convert and transform this sourced data into the right formats, design interactive visuals, dashboards, and business intelligence reports, track key business or financial performance indicators, and uncover business insights from the data. And finally, share reports with relevant persons and guide decision making. So just like is a tool, right, that allows us to carry out or to perform certain steps on our data to achieve the end goal, which is to share reports to key decision makers. All right. So we move to the next step, right? So these are my layouts. I will definitely fill them up. I created this layout so we don't waste much of your time. So we'll just pick and import our data and fill this dashboard and get it going. So first and foremost, like I said, it's a tool. We have the Power BI desktop, which is what we are currently using. We have the service and we have the mobile versions. So in order to make this interactive and visible, I'm going to show you how we are importing this data and walk you through on every ribbon, on every icon on this desktop, what it is and what we are going to use it for. So let me know if I'm too fast or for your pace, and if you have any question, feel free to drop in the chat or call my attention so I can walk you through on any question or confusion you picked up during the course of the session. Thank you so much. So this is Power BI desktop version, right? We have different ribbons or different buttons on this desktop. Each of them have different purposes and different reasons. On the right side, we have the filter functions, we have the visualizations, and we have the data, right? Also, we need to sign in, right? In as much as it's free version, Microsoft expects you to sign in, to have an account with them to help you publish on the Power BI service across stakeholders if it's an enterprise organization. All right. So remember, having walked you through on what Power BI is all about, this is the time where we need to import the data to perform our analysis. All right. So first and first, we have to get data. And in order to get this data, our source data, as I mentioned earlier, we have to come at this icon and get data. There's a drop-down menu. So common data sources. I believe that a lot of you are common with Excel, right? So Excel format of data. We have other sources of data or points or storage systems where data is stored. But at the basic level here, we are looking at data that is an Excel format. So we have other formats like text or CSV and rest of that. So, but this objective of this class is to import data that is in an Excel format. So we click on Excel workbook. On On my desktop, it takes you to my local, to my PC, to give me the folder where I stored the data. And this is it, the sample superstore, right? We click on it and then we open. So we're actually waiting for the to load so we can transform the data. So can anyone hear me? Is anyone with me on this call?
Yes.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. Okay. So we are waiting for. All right. So while we have picked up the data or connected picked up the data source, we store data in Excel format, right? Power BI takes us to this navigator pane that is actually loading. So what this does is it gives us a preview of how the data looks like, and expects us to perform the necessary steps on the data, like transformation, cleaning, removal of duplicate, before we now move it into the Power BI desktop editor to carry out any visualization purpose. So remember I told you that this is a folder that contains different data sources, and this navigator is for us to have a preview of what the data looks like and to actually carry out anything we want to do on the data. So here we have 4 folders, 6 files, almost duplicates of each other. So we are only picking the other file just to look at it before we can proceed. So like I said, there are different storage systems for data and databases, CSV files, and rest of it. Because of the context of our object of this class, of this training section, we are focused on the Excel format. All right, so this is the preview of our business data, right? I think this is the first 23 rows of the data. So what the navigator helps us to do is to have a preview, a snapshot of what the data looks like. So then here at this juncture, we need to identify the various columns in this data and what it looks like. So we have the row ID, we have the order ID, we have the customer name, we have the segment, we have the region, we have the city.
Sorry, Abba. I don't know if it's me. Your screen is not changing. I don't know if Emeka and they can confirm if they are seeing what.
I wanted to say the same thing.
Okay, so your screen is not changing.
No, the only thing that has added, the data has added from the right section. Like it has joined with the visualization, but nothing has changed from. I can't see any data displaying.
Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Hold on. I think it's the network because. Not done. Let me stop sharing this. Okay. Okay, so I'm resharing just to let you know. Okay, can I see my screen now? Can I see my full screen?
Not yet.
Yeah, I can see the Power BI screen.
Okay, can I see the navigator? Are you looking at the navigator? I can see the navigator.
What I can see from there is the Power BI screen with like grayed out charts. Is that what we're supposed to see?
No. I've moved past that point. So yeah, I've moved past that point. Okay, let me resolve that now. Okay, I've moved screen 1. Okay, can you see the navigator pane now?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. Okay, all right. So, let me cancel the step and walk you through again. So getting your data right. So we go to the get data section of the Power BI. Then we have the Excel workbook, right? Then we pick the Superstore data, right, that we want to visualize. Then we click open. So what what we're about to do is to load the data into Power BI to enable us visualize and summarize the data. So, and to make sense and share reports and communicate our findings to relevant stakeholders. But before we get to that endpoint, we have to connect to a data source or pick our in different formats, Excel storage or CSV or direct to a database. So data source or database is a complex topic of its own. This objective of the class is just to simply connect to a data file and then preview, clean it up, and visualize the data. All right. So at this point, we are trying to wait for the navigator to load our data so we can visualize the columns and the rows involved and then clean it up. Okay, so there are 6 files in this folder, so we are simply picking the other file just to have a preview of it before we now transform. All right, so this is what our data looks like. Right, this is first 23 rows. So Power BI Navigator gives us that opportunity to have a preview of our data before we decide are we loading straight into Power BI dashboards or we need to transform for any wrong formats of the data. So at this point, we've seen how we can import our data. So the next step is to remove duplicates, and we can only achieve that by looking at the bottom right of this navigator pane. We have load, we have transform, and we have cancel. So we are simply going into transform data to remove any form of duplicates or transform into format that is right for our visualization purpose. So we simply go on transform data just to clean it up. All right, so that's what we call Power Query. Power Query is a tool that is embedded in Power BI and Microsoft Excel for transforming and manipulating data. So it's a tool that is primarily designed to clean up data that comes in different formats and ensure that our data is fully optimized for our analytical results. So this is how Power Query looks like. So I think for us to understand how to use Power Query, maybe subsequently look forward to our next webinar sessions to understand how to use Power BI effectively and efficiently. One of the purposes is to automate processes, automate our cleaning processes and our manipulating processes. All right. So this is what Power Query looks like, and on like every desktop application, it has different buttons and for different functions and different purposes. So we have the home, we have the transform. If you want to add column, these are all the column manipulation steps. If you want to view your data, the tools and help, the help here is for community if you need support. But at this point now, let's have a comprehensive view of what our data looks like. So we have 21 columns with 900 and about 1,000 rows. So if you noticed, right, we have row ID, order date, ship mode, customer ID, right? We have the customer names who are performing this, who are making these orders, right? We have the segment of these customers, we have the country or the region in which this customer is making this order from, we have the city in which the customer is living, we have the state, we have the postal code, we have the region, right? We have the product ID in which the product the customer ordered, we have the category, we have the subcategory, we have the product name, we have the sales, we have the quantity of the product made, the quantity of the product ordered, we have the discount, and we have the profit. So this is what, so like the name superstore, so this is primarily like a shopping mall or a business in that segment. So without wasting much of your time, one key skill a data analyst should have is the ability to observe, ability to look at your data and observe, are there redundancy, that is duplicates of data points. So if we pay close attention on this order ID, right, we are having duplicates, that is one order coming up two times. And from the understanding of a business logic, a product is not supposed to have the same order ID. That means every order needs to have a unique identifier. So which is why we are carrying out the removal of we are removing duplicates on this order ID. Then apart from that, we are looking at the right format. So the row ID comes in numbers, the order ID comes in ABC, which is a text, numeric text, and dates format of your. So these are things we need to pay attention. So apart from the duplicates, it's also visible that the columns are in the right format. So we don't necessarily need to format them, because either a data comes in date, or it comes in numbers, or in decimals, or in strings. So it is right format. All we just have to do at this stage is to remove the duplicates. So in order to remove this duplicate, remember I told you for every ribbon or for every function you are seeing on this Power Query desktop application, there's a reason for it. It performs a particular step. So for us to remove these duplicates on this order ID, we need to come to this icon here known as remove rows. I don't know if anyone can see it. Remove rows. We have remove top rows, remove bottom rows, remove alternate rows, remove duplicates. So at this point, we simply click on the remove duplicates. So Power Query automatically removes the redundant and the duplicate data items in our data. So you see, like on the right side of it, there's an automated step that shows that the duplicates have been removed. But if you made this step in error, or you're not sure and you want to go back to the way your data was, you simply click on this error and it goes back to the initial way it was. So having performed these basic data cleaning steps, such as removing duplicates using Power Query, we are now moving to the next step of visualizing our data. So in order to do that, we need to totally close and apply this step we have carried out. So in order to do that, we simply come to this icon on the top left corner, and we have close and apply, apply and close. So at this point, we simply close and apply. So can anyone hear me? Do we have a question? Are we lost? Is there anything you might want to ask? So while we wait for the PowerBI to load our data to.
So sorry, Harper, thank you so much. Please, how did you know that ID section has a duplicate? I think at that point.
All right, thank you so much. So like I said earlier, the key skill of a data analyst is to observe your data, is to investigate the data. And one of these things is you need to, when the data is given to you, you need to find out if there are duplicates, right? If there are duplicates in your data. When I mean duplicates, are we having same number coming two times, right? Is same unique identifier appearing two times, right? Let's say A11, maybe if a column is supposed to return unique numbers, those unique numbers, are they returning more than once, right? So that's a key skill a data analyst needs to have mentally, is to look at the data and say, is this thing repeating? Why is it repeating? So if you are looking at that data, we saw that in business, which is why we say that business understanding is key. Are we supposed to have order IDs, that's order identifiers, being duplicated? Let's say you ordered a phone, an iPhone once, and that one order is returning 2-3 times. So that means it's an error. It's supposed to be ordered one unique iPhone 14. So it's not supposed to return that particular order 2 times or 3 times. It's supposed to return it 1, but the system or the data is having it 3 times. So that is why we choose to remove those duplicates in our Power Query. So I don't know if that helps to understand, to clarify why we did what we did. Hi, hello, are you with me? Did you hear me?
I guess maybe he heard you or he's having a network challenge.
Okay.
Right.
No, I can
Okay.
hear you. I can hear you. So I'm just surprised that, like, is there no way we can just highlight the whole data, and during the course of applying the duplicate, just tell us the rows that has those duplicates. They will just take them out from there.
Exactly. So there are multiple ways to do that, right? There are multiple ways using Power Query, right, to do that. So, but then it's going to be, that means you have to scrutinize the entire data step by step. Let's say if you have 1 million rows, that means you have to walk through the 1 million rows just to remove those duplicates. But what Power Query does is just give you an automated function where you just say, okay, we've identified duplicates in this table. Remove simply the duplicates. We don't need to filter one after the other or highlight any of the rows.
Okay.
So that's what Power Query does specifically, is to, like I said, it's a manipulating tool that helps you with inbuilt functions and formulas to say, on this column we are having duplicates. Once you click on that button, it automatically removes the duplicates for you. So if you click on the button, you see the steps involved in which you took out the duplicates. So I don't know if that helps to clarify your thinking.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So there are ways, you need to look at your data and say, okay, what are we having? So which is where the business understanding comes in, that an order made is not supposed to have duplicates. So is it that system errors or something, and there are ways you can find out why they are having these duplicates and actually remove them. But at this context, we just have to use the duplicate function because we are believing that a lot of people here are beginner. They are on their early stages of using Power BI. So the best step is to use Power Query and then remove the duplicates, and so you have your unique orders. All right. Okay. Thank you so much. So we move now. The data, looking at the right side of our desktop application, we have filters, we have visuals, and we have the data. So we click on the order table, and we have all the data, all the columns we have previewed when we are trying to load the data, and it is now ready for us to slice and dice our data. So I created this data analysis on other products. So this is what your dashboard should look like depending on the context of the subject you are working on. So, all right, on the left side of this Power BI desktop, we have the report view, which is where you have these dashboards. We have the data view, where you have your rows and columns in table format, just like an Excel, right? I think in our last webinar section, we told that Excel has come to stay. So most of these functions are built, most of these applications, data applications, are built leveraging the Excel understanding, leveraging on the capabilities of Excel and the limitations of Excel. So we see that our data, those duplicates are no longer, and those rows that are returning those duplicates have been automatically removed. So this is what our data looks like now. So we have a unique data set that is ready to be visualized. So on the model view, right? So our model view, which is the third icon on the left, is simply the relationships that are driving your data, right? So that's what model view is all about. So if you have order tables, you have finance tables, you have employee tables, your model view helps you to create relationships between your data. So that's still from basic to advanced to complex levels of your Power BI. But at this level, we are only working with one table just to have a view of what visualization and analyzing data using Power BI is all about. All right, so so we go to slicing and dicing our data. So remember initially, right, I walked us through on the objectives of this session. So to walk you through on the basis of Power BI, show you importing data in Excel format, which we've done the basic cleaning by removing duplicate, and then our next step is to visualize basic charts, right? And then remember that Power BI is a tool that helps us to perform certain steps, track business KPIs, design interactive dashboards, and finally share our reports. So the next step is to now visualize what you've seen in table format into an interesting chart. So I created this. So on the visual pane, on the visualization pane, we have basic charts that can help us visualize our data. So we have continuous data and we have categorical data. So the kind of column that we want to work with will determine the kind of visuals we are going to use. So for example, we want to visualize the count of products, right? Unique products that the business or this store has. So all we simply need to do is to first we need to know that a product was ordered. So before an order is being made, there must be a product in the store. So we'll simply do on this left scorecard, right? So on this visualization pane, let me walk you through on the basic. We will have different charts that we can use to visualize our data based on the specific needs. So I'll tell you what one is and why we are using one and how we will use one. So this is a scorecard. A scorecard, right? A card known as scorecard. What it does is helps us to summarize our data or our column in numbers. So you look at it, you simply have it in numbers. So I want to know the count of products the business has. So we simply drag our product identifier IDs and then we click on it. So it's loading. Okay, so all we need to do is to count. So count the unique products. Count the unique products in the business. So what this is telling us now, why are we counting? So this superstore has about 1,729 products, right? Unique products in the store. So let's say you have a shop, a mini superstore. Like I think one close to us here is one supermarket. So it means that this supermarket has about 1,729 unique products in their store. So all right, now having 1,729 products, we need to know how many of these numbers or how many of these products were ordered. So where we now have the count of orders made, right? So remember, the scorecard gives us a basic summary, a numeric summary of what our business is telling us in numbers. So we need to know the orders made. So the number of orders made, we simply drag and drop. So at this point, remove field, rename, first, last, count, and count. So remember, we did removal of duplicates on this order ID. So where we now have count of our unique orders. So we now have at this point now. So out of 1,729 products, we have 5,009 orders made. So meaning that one unique product can be ordered multiple times. All right. So now we want to also have revenue made, right? What is the total sales or revenue generated from these products and the orders made? So in order to do that, we simply drag sales, also known as revenue, into this card to give us the total amount of revenue made from selling this product or from the product made. So we have about 1.1 million naira or dollars made from sales or from orders of this product. All right, and finally, we want to look at the profit made. So remember, profit comes after all the expenses have been deducted. So in order to do that, we simply either click or drag and drop into the scorecard to give us profit made. So meaning we have about 132,000 naira or $132,000 made, which is the total profit. So just to summarize, what I've done is to understand that card visuals is used to summarize our numbers, or is used to summarize our data in numbers, right? So we now have the idea that we have 1,725 unique products which were ordered 5,009 times, and we made a total revenue of 1.1 million naira or dollars, and finally we made a profit of 132. So this is what the scorecard. So on a glance, the business owner or the scorecard or the stakeholder knows that this is how business, or this is how my business or my store is performing in terms of the performance indicators that matters to the business. All right. I don't know if someone has a question or someone is lost at this stage before we proceed to the next visuals. All right. So I think that's a signal for me to continue. Okay. So next is to carry out product segments, orders, right? So these products, they have segments, or this business have segments in which they operate. So in order to achieve this, we need to now segment our products or segment the orders of these products made. So in order to do this, we simply look at the table, order table, we come down, we have segments. So we simply drag and drop these segments into our pie chart. So I don't know if anyone can maybe unmute and tell us why pie chart is used, or why we have a pie chart. What is the purpose of a pie chart? Can anyone? All right. So if you can't talk and you can hear me, you can always drop it in the chat. You can always drop it as a chat you can always drop it, type it out in the chat, so we can proceed. But let me know if you can't hear me or if you are lost at any point. So pie chart primarily is a visual, is a chart visual, right, that helps us to segment our chart. So more if you have categoricals that makes up a percentage or makes up the total percentage of your categorical data of your business segment, pie chart is one of the effective ways to visualize your data. So you notice that this business has 3 segments. It deals in consumer products, it is also in corporate products, and also deals on products that deals on home office items or home office related products. So interpreting these, right, we have that 51% of the products or of the orders made are coming from the consumer products, right, are coming from the consumer segment of the business. So you notice that the next in line is 30% and you have 18%. So on a glance, the business owner knows that, okay, this is how my business is faring, or this is how my product is, the segments of our business are performing, and which to discontinue and which not to discontinue. All right. Thank you so much. Let me know if that makes sense to you. So the next is subcategories of product, right? So in order to do the subcategories of product, right, where are these products coming from? So we know that we have consumer, we have corporate, and we have home office. So the next is the segments, the subgroups within these major segments. So let's say you have consumer products, and then under consumers, probably you have kitchen utensils, you have under kitchen utensils, you have electrical, wooden, and stuff like that. So that's what this segment is, subcategory is all about. So without having understood that, we on this order table we have subcategory. So we simply use the subcategory item, we drag and drop it into Okay. Um, so we drag and drop into the chart, and we need to know the orders that were made. All right. So you see that the business is already making sense now, that our building visuals is already giving us that understanding of our business report, as against having it in an Excel format that we might find difficult making sense of. So this is more of a butterfly chart, right? So we now see that binders, right, is making more sales than any other of our products. So if we click on this, we can have the numbers that binders is generating to the business. All right. So these are the top 10 ordered products, right? These are the top 10 ordered products that are driving profit or driving sales. Okay. So now on the top right of our visuals, we have something that looks like a map. So at this point, we need to visualize orders that were made by states, or states in which orders were sent to. So in other words, you think of this as a geospatial or geospatial data analysis, in the sense that you want to understand sales or orders that were made from different regions or different parts of the country. So coming to the right corner of your data section, we have states, but we cannot visualize states like this other visuals. We need to visualize states like it's a region, like it's actually a state. So this will help us to transform this state into a region-like attribute to help us perform a map analysis, or should visualize state in form of a map. So in order to do this, we need to click on state itself, and then we come to the ribbon here. We come to the ribbon here. So we need to look at, okay, the data category. So we have summarization. Definitely it is in text and it's not summarized. So we need to categorize this. So in order to categorize it, we need to state it as a state. So Power BI automatically places it on a map, because it has an input function that helps us to visualize in terms of maps. So we simply convert that state into a map-like state. So you see what this will turn out at the end of this transformation. All right. So while we wait for it, Power BI to perform its step, do we have any questions? Is anyone hearing me? I mean, I think I'm not seeing the chat, so I would like someone to just unmute the mic and say something. Thank you. So I know I'm not even talking to myself.
Yeah, I'm hearing you perfectly.
Okay.
Well, for the guys, yeah.
All right, thank you.
I'm hearing perfectly.
I can hear you clearly too.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you. All right, so if you noticed on the right of this data section, right, we have it's now different from other ones. We have the category, which is, remember I told you we have data types that are in text, numbers, dates, and states. So you see that the state now is in form of a map, and this map now will help us to create an interactive map that can summarize our figures on the look. So we simply drag on the location, we simply drag the state to the location, and then remember, we need to know the orders that came in from different states from a region. So we now drag the order ID into the bubble size. So the bigger the bubble size, the bigger the orders that came in. So excellent. So I think I'm zooming at this moment. So you see that California, this is a US, you see that California has 1,021 orders. So this is so on the glance now, when looking at it, you have that the bigger the bubble size, the bigger the orders that came from the states. Okay, so that's just the summary. That's just what disposal data analysis is all about analyzing your data by location, by state. You can format this different ways you want it. You want it to look in dark, in straight modes. It's in your hands. So that's why we have the format capabilities to help you format your visuals the way you want it to look. So it's an interactive dashboard. On the glance, a business owner knows how business is performing. A key decision maker is knowing, okay, should we discontinue this product or not? What is happening and why is it happening? All right. So, having done our state analysis, knowing orders that were made from the state, we proceed to business category, which is the down visuals. This last three visuals. But before I proceed to the last visuals, I don't know if anyone has a question or the step you missed any step or you have a confusion. So this is an opportunity for us to look go through, answer your questions.
None from my side, but you can proceed. Just proceed.
All right, thank you. So the next is every business has its category, right? So office supplies, furniture, technology. So we know that the business categories, business segments across different levels. A business don't just roll out one single product. In order to make profit or in order to make more sales, you need to diversify. So we want to visualize orders across different categories. So in order to do that, so the goal behind visualization is try to keep it as simple as you can, right? And try to make it readable, understandable at the first glance. Once your business, the business user or the stakeholder or the last person who has the final decision or the CEO looks at the dashboard, he's able to make sense. He's able to understand the goal. So we don't need to use complex visuals. We just need to use visuals that can help the end user understand it properly. So at this point, we are using categories of our business. Okay, hold on. I think I didn't cancel out this. Okay, so okay, so this is quite taking some processing power. All right, so the next one, the last three visuals before we round up the session is we want to look at orders across our business category. So we want to look at that. We simply drag and drop. Okay, so and then we okay. Perfect. So this chart is known as what? This chart is known as a column bar chart. So bar charts, column charts, stacked bar charts, pie charts, the butterfly chart, they are used to visualize categorical things that are categorical, that are limited in numbers, right? So for effectiveness, so you look at that on the glance, we have 3,043 office supplies were made or were ordered. So if you click on this office supplies, it gives you all other numbers associated to what office supplies. So this is what we mean by interactive dashboard. So you can see that you can see that these office supplies are coming in from corporate and home office segment of the business. It is, look at how much it is generating profit, look at the products that are classified in this. So this is just the beauty of Power BI, this interactiveness. So you don't just filter and try to once you click on a bar or an icon, every other thing is triggered to give you the numbers associated to your office supplies. So the next is shipping mode, right? So for those of us who order online or who do a lot of online shopping, we are conversant with shipping mode. That is how your business is being shipped, how the business ships its products to the customers. So at this point, which of these orders came into different modes of shipping that the business has for its customers to deliver products or orders made to its customers. So if you have idea to this question, you can type it in the chat while I show you the orders that were made in the shipping mode. All right. So shipping mode, right? So it's also categorical, right? It's also categorical. It can be from, we have first class, we have second class, we have third class, we have super prioritized, depending on the business logic. So here we just simply click on the shipping mode, and then we click on the order ID to give us the orders that were made across shipping mode. All right, so you get the idea now. So that means this business has 4 shipping categories. We have standard class, we have second class, we have first class, and we have same day. So meaning same day can be very urgent. It's possible that same day can be a home office or a consumer related product. So if you click on same day bar, every other thing associated with same day business is triggered, right? So you have your numbers or your sales figures coming from same day. So if same day 2 is not contributing to your profit, you can choose to discontinue your same day shipping mode or same day shipping criteria. So you have 161 supplies coming through. So interactive dashboard answers your questions. It helps you to understand what is happening, why is it happening, and what is the next step to take. So if you want to, let's say a business is considering discontinuing a particular arm of their business, this dashboard can help them to make a decision about a product or a shipping mode or something that is of concern to business. And finally, that's what we call trend analysis. Trend analysis has to do with time. It has to do how is business performing from January to December or from January to date. So it can come in years, it can come in months, it can come in quarters, it can come in weeks, and it can come in days. So that's where our order analysis is going to end, or our order analysis is going to end for today. So we want to know the count of orders from January to date, or from when the business started in 2018 to current year. So in order to do that, remember I told you that every chart has its purpose, what we use. So we know that map is used for visualizing location-based data or information. Butterfly, pie, column, and bar, they are used to visualize what? They are used to visualize your categorical data, right? Anything that has to do with categories and segments. These are the best charts for that. Your scorecards are used to summarize your numbers. If you can count them, or you can sum them, or you can average them, or you can find the minimum or maximum. That's what the scorecard is all about. All right, finally, the last chart for today is to perform what? The orders, the count of orders over time. So, and that is going to help us to work with our date column and our order ID. So in order to do that, we simply drag, or you click the order date so into the visual, and then if you notice the order date, we have years, we have quarter, we have months, and we have day. And finally, we simply drag into our y-axis, which is more of the continuous data, to visualize in form of a line chart. So comment this. This has been okay. It's loading. It's not supposed to be in legend. It's supposed to be in y-axis. It's loading. All right. Okay. My line is a bit faint, so let me format to an interesting color so we can see it better. Okay. So line. It's coming in white. I don't want it in white, so let me make it another color so we can. All right, so the business, so you see that order is on increase, right? It's constantly growing. So now that 69 orders were made in 2017, total orders is in 1,038. So this shows you that order the business is constantly growing, and there are certain business segments that are causing this order to be on steady increase. So it can be the kind of products they are ordering, it can be location. Several factors are responsible for the increase of orders, right, made by customers. So if you want to drill down, there's a drill down button that takes you to the quarter of each year, that takes you to the months of each year, and that to any level of the date you want. The drill down mode takes you to that level. So by this one, I think here we'll just leave it on the year mode, so you can always drill down and make your decisions about your business. So interactive dashboard again is once you click on products, once you click on any icon, any step or any level of your data, automatically it gives you the associated numbers of that business and how everything is interacting. Okay, thank you so much. I don't know at this point if we have any question before I introduce you to the concept of quick measures and that, and then we call it a day. So is there any question? Is there anywhere we are lost or we are not following? I mean, the floor is open now.
Thank you so much, Abba. I mean, it has been an engaging section so far. Please, can you share this section on the comment section, please, when you are done?
Absolutely. So the icebreaker is at the end of this. I will create a zip file, attach with the data set and the output of this session, and then we'll have the recordings too, I believe. We'll send everything to this and drop it in chat so you can walk through them, and wherever you are lost, you can always comment in the group chat, and we'll always provide support in your learning journey.
All right, many thanks.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other question? All right. So part of the objective today is to help you to create what we call a quick measure. So if you don't want to do your drag and drop, especially when it comes to summarizing your data, PowerBI has an input function known as quick measure. So you come to this ribbon. That's where we'll have the quick measure icon. I don't know if anyone can see. So at your own spare time, once you install the desktop application, try to just walk through the desktop application and understand what its function is all about. So it will help you to navigate seamlessly. So quick measure helps us to, like the name, quick measure, fastest measure. You don't need to drag and drop. All you just need to do is to refer to it anytime you need it. So we click on the quick measure. We want to have the total sales. Want to perform the total sales again without drag and drop method we did. We just want to have a quick measure of it. So select. So Power BI helps us to say, okay, select a calculation. So it's simply total, right? Running total. So what this simply does is to total the sales column and give us the same figure we have here. So all right, so what is the base value? The base value is the column we have, sales. So simply click on the column we have, and here we are, and then it gives us the sum of sales, base value, that's all. And then we can field. Okay, so the base value should be, okay, hold on. So the base value done. So the base value is I think my distance is a bit lagging, so it's not coming forth when I need it. So we have sales, and then we have the field. We want it to be same sales. Yep. And then so we add it. So PowerBI is working on it. So it's just a tool, right? Your goal as an data analyst is to think, what is this tool used for, and what can I achieve with this tool? So I think a lot of beginners, a lot of data analysts will like, oh, we are so scared of the tools, oh, I can't use the tools, PowerBI. It's nothing. But if you understand the thinking, just like someone who has a knife or a hammer, right? We already know the purpose of these tools and why we use them. So is all this. So it's Power BI, right? If you understand the purpose of this tool, you'll be able to describe what it is used for. You can carry out any tasks you want seamlessly. So that is why what we do here as is to help us to help you to master these tools through our dedicated monthly webinar sessions for newbies that who are going into data analysis, data science, or data engineering, or subsequent follow us on different social media platforms to watch out of our dedicated articles on data analysis. All right, thank you. So having performed this quick measure, if you now want to visualize it, we simply drag and drop. It will give us the same. So it will give us the same value we have here. So we now present it in the right visuals. I'm sorry guys, I think my device is lagging a bit, so it's a bit. So I want to visualize. So you see that the quick measure is giving you the exact okay, so yeah. So you see that the quick measure is already giving us exact figures we have. Sorry guys, I don't know why this. Okay, so let me revert back to this way it was. So that's what quick measure is all about. So you see that the same quick measure we created is giving us the same figure here. Is giving us so it's just a second way. If you don't want to do your drag and drop, or you are performing a complex analysis, right? You don't want to be dragging and drop. The quick measure helps you to reference that number that you want across your analysis. All right. So thank you so much, guys. I don't know if there's another question or if there's another thing someone else might want to say before we finally go into just a basic data analysis. DAS. What is DAS? DAS is data analysis expressions. So it helps us to write our variables and temporarily store our variables. Even if we don't want to do drag and drop, we simply write that, and anytime we need these things, we call them. So finally, to write a basic DAX, like is one of our last objectives for today, what we'll simply do is we have new measure. Go to new measure icon. So on this tool, there's different ways to achieve the same thing. There are different ways to achieve the same thing. So DAX is one of the ways to achieve a particular thing, and also a complex way to achieve something, especially when you are building complex data analysis. But it's just an introduction to give you an overview of what it looks like. So we look out for possible webinar sessions where we look into complex analysis leveraging DAX. So while we wait for PowerBI to finish working our measure. I don't know if we have anything to say. I don't know if our host has anything to say concerning our subscriber. Okay, I think it's finally loading. So what this does it gives you control over everything. So let me expand it so we see what we want to do. So we want to count the total IDs we have. So in order to do this, we simply say total orders. So in order to do this, we say total orders equal to, right, we call the count function, which is like a count formula. Then it gives us the table, and then we'll have count of customers. Let's do customers. We'll have count of customers, and then we'll close. So that is what it is. This is what that is all about. So there's cancel and there's good. So you see that this shows that that expression is correct. So we simply commit this expression. So having done this, we can simply drag it into the visual to say this is the count of the customers who made this order. So ability to interpret is also a key skill as a data analyst, to know what you are doing, why you are doing it, and be able to be able to communicate your step or your finding to business owners. So finally, I've come to the end of this session. Thank you guys for showing up respective of every hitch, and I think it's time to hand it over to the moderator of today's session. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you, all the participants. Taba, I mean, you've done well. To our participants, we're grateful having you guys on board. I mean, Abba and I had a conversation prior to us commencing this webinar, that it seems like we'll get more engagement if we're actually on WhatsApp. Like, meaning that there's a need for us to create a WhatsApp group whereby we'll migrate everyone to. Then we'll not be using this Telegram for the webinar only, right? Because it seems like whenever we drop a message, people seem not to be active on Telegram, right? So that's one of the things we say we're going to discuss with everyone. But since this is the number we have today, we're definitely going to do that. We'll create a WhatsApp group chat and we'll drop it in this Telegram chat group and ask everyone to migrate there. So there will be more active, while this place will be used for webinar purposes. I believe that would make sense, guys. Well, let me hear from you guys. Which platform do you think is more preferable? You think that people would like to, be more active on, Because for us to put this WhatsApp right now. So that's WhatsApp. I don't know. Yeah, Mika, go ahead.
Yeah, I say WhatsApp is better. Like, we can easily get messages compared to Telegram. So for me, WhatsApp is fine.
All right, so that solves it for us. So thanks so much, and thanks everyone. We're going to be sharing this video on the Telegram chat group there, as well as the WhatsApp group once we create it. Right. So enjoy the rest of your weekends, and thanks for participating. So we look forward to seeing you guys in our next month's webinar. Thank you, and goodbye.
All right, thank you so much for the lecture.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.